All right. Now, sometimes the domain and range is determined by the context of the problem, right? So, for example, if we're looking at the area of a circle, right? Area is equal to pi r squared. Now, negative areas for an actual circle don't make sense. And how do you have a negative radius? Now, maybe we can define what that means, and we could potentially have negative radii, but in most cases, if you're dealing with an actual with actual circumstances, there are just some values that don't make sense, and so sometimes the domain and range is determined by the context of the problem. So let's take a look at this example. We're told that the local gas station charges $3.83 per gallon of gas, and the cost, which we're going to call C, of the gas you put in your car is a function of the number of gallons that you pump. All right. And we're going to call the number of gallons, this is the number of gallons, is N, and the cost is C. We're just going to use those variables. All right. So first of all, let's write a formula for the cost function. All right. So, well, what are you going to do? You're gonna pay $3.83 for every gallon of gas that you pump. So C is just going to be $3.83 times however many gallons you pump, and the gallons you pump is N. So there's your expression. You're just going to multiply the number of gallons times $3.83 per gallon. All right, simple enough. Now, if your car's gas tank holds a maximum of 20 gallons, find a realistic domain and range for this function. All right. Well, all right. So first of all, a negative number of gallons, how do we do that? We'd be pumping gas out of our car, and we're probably not going to do that. So really a negative value for pumping. You can't pump back gas backwards into the into the gas pump. So N has to be greater than 0, and it also has to be less than 20, right? Because then, I mean, I guess we could pump gas out beyond 20 gallons, but then we'd be spilling gas on the floor, and we don't want to do that. We don't want to waste the gas. So realistically, the number of gallons that we pump is going to be somewhere between 0 and 20. All right. So that is our domain. This is the domain. Let me just label that domain. All right, so what's the range? So the range is going to be determined by the function, right? By the values, the possible values of the function, and the values that we could get out of this function depend on the domain. So what we can do is just take $3.83 times the low end of our domain, 0, right? And the function is going to be greater than that. C is going to be greater than that. And the upper bound then would be $3.83 times, the maximum we can pump, which is 20 gallons. All right. So our range then is going to be between 0, right? So if we don't if we pump 0 gallons, we're going to pay 0, hopefully. And if we pump 20 gallons, we're going to take 20 times $3.83, and you'll get 76.60. All right. So our cost is going to be somewhere between 0 and $76.60. So this is our realistic range based on the information that we're given. All right, there we go. So that's all I have for you today, and I'll see you in class.